No Djokovic, no Alcaraz. Who will win US Open 2024? It looks like both the major favorites to win the ongoing US Open, that is defending champion Novak Djokovic, and Carlos Alcaraz are no longer in contention for the US Open title. Isn't that shocking? And what is especially shocking is that Djokovic suffered a third-round early exit from the competition he won last year. Right after winning the Olympic gold this year, tennis fans expected him to continue his winning streak and sublime form. But that did not happen. Djokovic was left in utmost shock by Australian Alexei Popyrin in their third-round clash at the 2024 US Open. The 24-time Grand Slam champion lost to Popyrin 4-6, 4-6, 6-2, 3-6, and made an early exit from the year's last Grand Slam. After the game, the Serbian was a bit too critical of his own performance and said that he played some of the worst tennis he has ever played and was serving by far some of the worst. Well, that's a bit too harsh and hard on oneself, right? Djokovic registered a whopping 32 double faults in his 3 matches in the US Open this year, and the recent Olympic gold medalist even dropped serve 5 times against Popyrin, which resulted in his defeat. Tennis fans must surely not have expected this. As for Alcaraz, well, he suffered a shock defeat at the hands of Botic van de Zandschulp, who greatly disappointed the Spaniard who won the French Open, as well as Wimbledon this year. Alcaraz lost 6-1, 7-5, 6-4 loss to Botic, and even gave an enthusiastic assessment of his performance in the match. So now that 2 of the major title contenders for the US Open are out, who are the other players who can strongly benefit from the departure of Alcaraz and Djokovic from the tournament? Let's find out. Botic van de Zandschulp. Well, after disappointing Alcaraz, Botic can go on and compete for the US Open title. Although we don't think he will find it as easy to go up against Jack Draper as much as against Alcaraz, the level he brought to the contest could make him dangerous against anyone. The Dutch star is back inside the top 70 of the live rankings and would jump back inside the top 60 with another win, Alex de Minaur. Although nobody expected him to make a strong statement at the US Open after his injury at Wimbledon, Australia's de Minaur, who is seeded 10th in New York, is also a serious challenger for the title. Given that he bagged a convincing victory over Otto Virtanen to reach the 3rd round, and that Alcaraz was joined by 7th seed Hubert Hurkacz and 16th seed Sebastian Korda in crashing out the tournament, de Minaur becomes the highest-ranked play left in the 2nd quarter of the draw, also having reached French Open and Wimbledon quarterfinals this year. Jack Draper. Draper defeated Alcaraz in Queens a couple of months ago, and although the 25th seed had been kind of an underdog going into the 3rd round against the Spaniard, the Brit has been handed a significant opening with Alcaraz's departure. Let's not forget that Draper has round 4 points to defend from 2023 and now only has van de Zandschulp coming between him and the 2nd week. Alexander Zverev. Zverev, who is currently the world number 4, is now up to 2nd in the ATP live rankings and is guaranteed to be ranked above Alcaraz once the tournament is over, with 6,775 points under his belt as things stand now. Zverev has been handed a boost after Djokovic and Alcaraz shock exits and will look to take full advantage of the situation. Jannik Sinner. And finally, we have Jannik Sinner, who probably has the highest chance of winning the US Open, especially after Alcaraz's exit, which means that his cushion over Alcaraz has grown significantly, and the gap could widen even further. Sinner holds 9,280 in the live ATP rankings, while Alcaraz has fallen to 6,690 points, which is already a gap of 2,590 points. The Italian could move almost 4,500 ranking points ahead of his rival should he go on to win the title, which it looks like he will. And not to forget that Sinner is in pole position to finish 2024 as the number 1. So, who do you think will go on to win the US Open this year?